Okay, well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It has been the earliest first Friday live of my live life, actually. It's Friday, the 4th of July. I believe it's some sort of Independence Day somewhere in the world, but we're all over the world today. As always, I am all over the world today. I'm back in Wales, where we keep the dragons. And I'm MJ Lace, and this is Jackie Chan. I know what you're all thinking. You're all thinking it's Jackie Chan, but it isn't. It's the Jackie Chan, the only actual Jackie Chan I need to know. When I met Jackie Chan, I can tell you my life was changed, and as a result, I have invited Jackie Chan here with us today on First Friday Live. Now, if you've watched First Friday Live before, you'll know that we've had Paralympians and we've had um, uh, addiction counselors, and we've had what have we had? We've had ladies who sell natural face products. I mean, you name it. We've had all sorts of people. We haven't yet had royalty, so we won't be long before that, and I've no doubt. But today we've got Jackie Chan, and today we're going to be talking all things. All things actually. I've threatened to keep this going for 12 hours, but I think we're going to make about an hour today out of it. I won't keep you for 12 hours, but it'd be interesting you tried to run away live. We are, of course, live. Don't forget to comment, share, and share this space out if you are watching us wherever you are in the world and whatever flipping platform. And you could be on about 42,000, I think. I think there's so many platforms. There's more platforms than countries, I think. Definitely. Hopefully, there's not more platforms than people, because that could get a bit complicated. Anyway, I am digressing as always. But just after 9 a.m. in the UK, I'm going to ask Jackie Chan in a minute what time it is, where they are, and indeed where they are. I'm in Cardiff, Welsh, Wales. Normally in Dubai at the moment, it's been like, and shortly off to Amsterdam with said human next to me here. But before then, Londinian, which is always a good place to start to get to the dam. But yeah, although all Leeds is good as well. Um, Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We want you to, instead of listening to me babble on, because they all know who I am, tell us a bit about yourself, and the question, the burning question on everybody's lips is, who is Jackie Chan?
Thank you, MJ. So right now it's 4 p.m. in the afternoon in Hong Kong. So yes, I am Jackie Chan, but I'm not the international actor, okay? And it's a real name. It is on one of my IDs because if I leave Asia, I'm often asked, or maybe I'm on Zoom, like, is this your real name? And yes, and I also remember in our Dubai WhatsApp group, people are saying, "Oh, Jackie Chan's gonna go to that workshop. Oh, I really want to have a picture with you." And then yeah, it feels really good to be famous just with this name. So this is a little bit piece of like fun. And so about myself, I am I would say non-technical AI trainer, which suddenly all started in Dubai this January. And so far, I've trained over 70 people, 14 hours, and in person and online, and in Dubai and Hong Kong. And I want to tell you a big secret. I actually haven't charged a penny. Okay. But let's leave that for season two. Okay. Otherwise, it's going to be really long. So yeah, and about myself, so I would see not see, but it is true, like I am a Canadian. I'm born in Hong Kong. I've did all my studies there, and I came back to Hong Kong and based here for the past 20 plus years. And a little bit of the boring stuff, it's like in my corporate life, I've been in the financial industry and also like in the IT project management space for about 13 years, along with other industries that I've been in. And uh, a fun fact that about my work back in Hong Kong. In the my first job is in Hong Kong was I was in the food manufacturing company, and I was trying to set up the system, an ERP system. And one thing I had to do was to do the inventory. So I have to go in like the -18, freezer, which is like really big. You can park a few cars there. And then yeah, and then like because we have to do the stock take, and things were just getting set up, so I have to climb over on like step on like the dried shrimps, in order just to reach the chicken pieces, so I can do the inventories. So yeah, this is really memorable. And my friend was saying, you do projects, I do projects. I don't know why you have to go, count the chicken pieces when you're doing projects. Okay. I'm like, well, yeah, that's like, pretty fun. And the really fun part is I've traveled over 20 countries, and I'm always curious about different things. And self-discovery or self-development path, I've been on there since 2013 when I kind of got lost. Yeah, it all started in the supermarket where I got lost in the supermarket. Um, yeah, and yeah, I just couldn't decide on what to buy, but I figured out what was happening. So let's leave that for season 3, okay? And
Exactly.
yeah, and yeah, last year I joined Mind Valley, and that was how I got to meet you at the Future Human in Dubai.
It was indeed. That is
Yeah.
exactly where you met me. In fact, it brings me on to that second question. In fact, we spent nearly 2 weeks hanging out together, to be honest. And I only went to be there. Well, I did. I felt like it was 2 weeks anyway. Maybe it wasn't, but I was meant to be there 3 days. I think it was 5 days. I was meant to be there 3 days originally, and I've ended up spending nearly almost 6 months there. And I have my Emirati ID now. But that's enough
Yay.
about me again. Yeah, thank you for that. It takes some doing. And if anyone wants a hand getting their Emirati ID, believe me, you need somebody that you can trust, and you need somebody that gives a monkeys. I can tell you, it's not an easy one. So how was that an experience for you? But one of my questions is going to be, did you find it accessible, or even did you notice whether it was? And then you've already told me you come from you're a global person. I'm a global person of determination. I'm a G-pod. You're a I don't know what you'd say. You're a global person. There we are. That's it. You're a global person. That's it. We're both global people. Do you see any difference between where you were and where you usually live, or where you were in the UK, or where you were in other places in the world? Yeah, how was both things? I mean, the first one I want to hear is how was it hanging out with me? Because it's all about me. I'm joking. Um, how was it being in Dubai in comparison to Hong Kong?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I still remember vividly how I met you. Like we were at the party. It was outdoor. I was alone and you were alone as well. And you just grabbed my attention totally. Like I was just there. I saw this lady in a wheelchair spinning around, enjoying herself, dancing. I'm like, what? Like you are like so happy and energetic, and I'm like, oh, okay. And I even took out my phone. I took a video of you, of course, like I shared with you after we met, because I just thought it's, you just really got my attention, and I thought it's really inspiring because a lot of people like who are in wheelchairs or who are kind of immobile, they would be kind of down, and I never expected to see someone in, happily spinning around in a wheelchair at a party, and then like you're like happier than me, when I can walk around. So I forgot if it's you coming up to me or I came up to you. I honestly forgot, but I remember I told you how like your energy attracted me, and you're always like well groomed and stylish. And so that's really the energy that I love about you. and you just try to do so many different things. You have your charity, you have your businesses, you have your kids. I forgot if you have a dog too. And yeah, so yeah, there's so many different things running around. I don't know how you can achieve so much. So this is another thing that I would look up to you. And I remember it was really fun, just like going around, and we would be taking over the Mind Valley support booths, so yeah, and then and then in another place at night, you were talking so loud the neighbors were knocking on the door, yeah, in Celestine's place. Anyway,
Didn't we?
yeah, banging on the door.
We got
So
teenagers.
yeah, so it was really fun. And back to your question about like Dubai and Hong Kong. I had the car in Dubai. So when I had the car, it was absolutely super accessible. And I also noticed that people behind the wheels are totally different in Dubai than those on foot. Okay. People behind the wheels in Dubai, you don't mess with them. Okay. They're not very nice, honestly. The people on foot are very nice in Dubai. Um, I did have 3 days in Dubai without the car because I was actually trying to give myself a challenge. Because I was also in Dubai for 2 weeks. I was thinking of like relocating there, so I want to get to know different places and how it works. With that 3 days without the car, for me, it didn't work. I don't know about other people. Okay. I mean, even though I can walk normally, etc. Why I'm saying it doesn't really work. In Hong Kong, we already have to walk quite a lot, right? But I I I did the test. I walked from the metro station, back to my hotel about like 30 minutes. It was roughly around noon. It was I think 36 or 38 degrees. And I get off the station, and then you can't just go walk on the road. You have to go up an elevator, and then there is this really nicely paved road, but it's beside the highway, and you have cars zipping beside you, and then there's dust flying all over. And it's just, the experience is not good. You go up, you have the cars zipping beside you, and then you finally go back down, and then you continue going on the grass, going on the sand, and then and you try to hide under the shadow beside the highway. So there isn't really a lot of not a lot of sidewalk or pedestrian paths. So and so um on the third day I decided I can't do this, so I rented the car. So that's my 3 days of challenge in Dubai. And I remember you actually you shared to me that within 2 weeks there are sometimes you couldn't even attend our some of the workshops because of the inconveniences. You can't get a cab, or you just maybe like on the ferry or something. Like you just I just remember you have a lot of difficulty arranging your your transportations and so on. So I know definitely it's not accessible for you. I mean, even for me, it's not really doable without the car. But in Hong Kong, in general, I would say it is quite accessible. Like, even if for those in the wheelchair, you can easily go on a bus, you can go on a train, go on the metro. There would be like specialized gates for elders, wheelchairs, baby chairs, and there are lifts, and there are also some of the places, not all, but when there are stairs, like you have the wheelchair lifts. So that can help people in wheelchair. And there are special taxis that you can you can hire, which are like for wheelchairs. And this part I did a little bit of homework, where there is a organization called Rehab Society in Hong Kong. Like you can have accessible coaches, where they take local and overseas people. You can have like 5 wheelchairs, in there. And then there would be accessible buses, and then you can also have like accessible vans that you can hire, and they can also take 2 wheelchairs along with like the caretakers. So they also have in mind, like aside from the local, they also think of like people, from overseas. Of course, there are places that aren't so accessible, or there aren't really, it is not really accessible for in Hong Kong, like for the van and the tram. Those, they're not accessible. And then there are places like some older buildings or properties, like they're 50 years old, they only have stairs, or like you have to go up a flight of stairs in order just to reach the lift. So yeah, these are the places that are not accessible. But overall, in general, I would say Hong Kong is indeed like quite accessible overall.
I love the fact that there's even some accessibility, and you're 100% right. But I'll tell you this, I think also, as well as it being a difficult, dirty, dusty, hot, overwhelming, long-winded journey on foot, and I did it from the metro to. I tried to do it to a meeting because I couldn't get a taxi, and it proved impossible. I actually had to move the meeting and just go to a hotel and get a taxi eventually. But once you learn the rules, once you learn the how to call the taxi, how long they need, how many days notice, as if I could plan it in advance perfectly, which who can, but if I can, then potentially I've got more of a chance of accessing. But I think it cost me something ridiculous, like £2,000 in taxis during the time that we were there in that first 6 weeks. I think £2,000 in taxis, because taxis, for a start, I couldn't get my SANAD card, which is the card you need in order to get a half price wheelchair accessible vehicles. So I was being charged full price. I still haven't got any of that money back, actually. But also, so it's hard to get the SANAD card. And then when I did, I was on my way out. So I literally didn't take any advantage of it at all. And really, I do think that also systematically over in Dubai, actually, there is, let's say, I think there's money to be made and there are people doing it. But I mean, I think there's a lot of room for expats to provide services for people moving there, trading there, going there, even just visiting there as a tourist. Particularly if they're people of determination, which is what we're called over there, disabled people or handicapped people, because actually a guide to knowing how to access the accessibility is really important. And also for those like me that are neurodivergent, I didn't know when I went over there just the extent of what AI, how AI was being adopted, to the point that as a SENDCO, so I'm a special educational needs teacher, my first degree is IT and computing. So I was programming in Visual Basic way back when. And we took a modular approach to computer programming, nothing like the the block building we've got going on now. I mean, flipping it, it literally is like Lego. So given that we are, here we are, I didn't know that it was going to be in every element of the curriculum in Dubai. And of course it is. But if we're going to attract people to Dubai, who are specialists in that agenda, right? I believe that, in fact, we have to make that city. I'm going to talk to you about AI and its inclusivity in a minute, but we have to make that city more conducive to a sensory experience, because who are all the people who are innovative in technology, in the AI space, in the saving us all the time in the world, in us connecting together? Facebook, Microsoft, Tesla, Elon. You think about all of those, they're all neurodivergent. Now, unless you go sort out your travel and you make the experience the end-to-end process for anybody, just the introvert, if you just take the introvert and say the introvert needs to be served, then you take disability out of the equation. You say, if you want to be a leader in the whole of the world, well, you better start becoming neuro-inclusive, because if you're not, you might have it embedded in your curriculum, but if you haven't got it embedded in the walk between the metro and the bus station, or the metro and the shopping centre, or for me, the metro and the meeting, then I don't think that you're inclusive or accessible at all, however much AI you've got. But of course, we've already talked to, before we came live today, about AI and the way that it's going to help disabilities. Now, I know my thoughts, and we can have those out, of course, but how do you think AI is going to make life more accessible for the disabled? And indeed, you came up with a really good conversation about disability earlier. Whenever you want to drop that in there, I think it's a mic drop. I ought to get a mic just so I can drop it after you've said that one.
I'm not sure if you're talking about like being like the new handicap I was talking about. Yeah. Because like, for me, I think like, not to talk about, the disabled people, it's really about like, even for the, normal people, if you don't know how to use AI, I think this is like the new, like, not knowing AI is the new handicap. This is what I think. Like, because when everyone's using AI, you only need maybe, like, for example, a task only takes like 1 hour if you're using AI, and like maybe 90% of the people are using it. And then the 10% who are normal people but just not using AI may be taking like 5 or 6 hours. So aren't you handicapped in that way, if you frame it that way? Because the difference between normal person and like someone with physical disability is like, okay, I may walk there like 10 minutes, and someone may need assistance, or someone may be on crutches and walk there for 20 minutes. That's the only difference. I mean, you just struggle, we struggle over the same road, but then, you just take more time. And just the same as you're, are you swiftly moving over your task with AI, or are you struggling and putting in hours that you don't need and you're suffering? That's the thing. And with AI, one of the things, I haven't used it myself, but I do really like it. It's called Be My Eyes AI. It's where, like, I saw the it's been around for quite a few years, where I saw the demo. This lady, she was just like, she's blind, and she's in the gym room, and she's holding her phone, and she's trying to, I forgot if it's the treadmill or whatever that she's looking for, and she's talking to the AI, and then the AI is guiding her like how to find the treadmill. Like, I mean, she can't see, right? So it's like, okay, you just go straight, maybe 10 step, you take a left, okay, how, and then it actually describes how the treadmill looks like, and then she finally got on it, and she was really happy. So this is one thing. And then some newer things are like sign languages for like the deaf people. There's the Sign GPT, where like this project was actually awarded 8 million pounds. Yeah, 8 million pounds to build the sign language like AI model, like it's for the deaf community. So this was just like earlier this year, and then you were talking about like neurodivergent, right?
Yeah.
So like basically a lot of like things maybe like in just Microsoft Copilot or just in your daily normal chatbot, it's gonna help because it's like with the writing, the summary, like with the transcripts and so on. So yeah, I think no matter it's about like a normal person or person who it's like disabled or less capable, I'd say I think like both ways it really would help. And another thing is language barriers. If you're talking about inclusion, I would think like not just with the disabilities, but it's also like the language barriers. There's like live transcripts where you if you're in somewhere, or just there's like the foreign language and you can't communicate, and just take out your phone and do a live translation. I mean, just today at lunch before this podcast, I was actually being myself again, just nosy. The girls beside me, they're speaking in English, and you know um they can't order. Yeah, and then they're like poking at the picture. I want this, I don't want this. And then so like, you want hot or cold? They're speaking in Chinese, and then the lady was speaking English. She just said hot, and the waitress couldn't understand. And then
Alex.
I had to translate. It's not the first time I'm seeing this. And simple things like cold iced tea, they can't understand the English. So so I'm not talking or judging about the educational level in Hong Kong, which needs to be improved. But I'm just saying, like with things like AI, if people or like small business owners, they're smart enough to teach their staff how to use these things, and then you can avoid the embarrassment, because there are a lot of people around, but for those who don't know English or who don't care about others, then they're gonna get the wrong food. Yeah.
100% there are those that will take advantage, of course. And I think that we need to feed ourselves with the right stuff. The sign GTP will change lives.
Yes, that's
God,
one of the
sorry.
things.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's going to change lives. And I love the fact that you see so many important use cases. We're taking something called SpeakSee over to Dubai, and SpeakSee is a live translation caption tool, which means that the user got it on their mobile phone. There's a little QR code. When anyone's on the stage, they can have up to 9 stage speakers, all with different coloured microphones, all having their spoken word translated onto the screen in real time in whatever language the user wants. So it will revolutionize the expo in October, and people will not have even seen anything like it before. And of course, as I've alluded to earlier with Julia Ross, who is the director of the British Association of Social Workers, she might even be a bigger fish than that, but she's been that forever and ever and ever. She's even older than I am, which takes some doing, right? But she's very, very experienced. I'm very humbled in her presence. But she's just written a book about AI and social work. Now, we've had the conversation at conference this year about AI and social work, and the making all of assessments homogenous, which is the same, of course, but treating everyone the same isn't the same as a personalized approach. So there's some arguments about that. But and Julia takes the other extreme, which is the joke I make about I keep my bum big enough so that if I end up with a carer robot, that if it gets the wrong script, wash client, and tries to put me in the washing machine, there's just no way he's going to get me in there. It's a call him a him. There's just no way he's going to get me in there, which would be brilliant, because I'll be able to tell him to go and wash the next door neighbour instead. It'll be funnier. But yeah, so there is talk of AI in social work, and I've talked to you about smart homes and about checking in on our elders and about live phone, doorbells, older people being able to see us at the door. I see some great things being used. Do you think it's going to be used more in social work?
Yes, definitely is. I know a friend of mine, like he's in AI stuff, and he puts in like AI. It's more of the hardware. Like he would like maybe like I forgot if it's like the temperatures or the blinds that he would like incorporate the AI stuff to make like the elders home better.
Yeah.
And then for myself, I had a conversation with my friend who is a counselor slash like psychotherapist. uh we were having a conversation about AI because she's interested to learn about AI, and I was having a discovery call with her at the time because I want to discover what she wants to learn before going into the training. And then she heard about my vision about like how to help people, especially those who are new or who are like with like really minimal knowledge in AI, like to just have AI blend into their daily lives. And then she was sharing that actually like with rehab homes or elder homes, or maybe like low income families, those they would definitely be of help because the case she was sharing is like she has a client who kind of lost 2 nights sleep over um over some charges related to the government, some government charges like for her home. She didn't really know how to handle it, or just don't really know how to figure it out.
Yeah.
And so she just couldn't sleep for 2 nights. And then I shared about like, you know, how AI can help. And my friend was like the counselor, she was like saying like, you know, if we if these people know how to use AI, then, you know, she can do it in like 30 minutes instead of losing 2 nights sleep, you know. And then the other thing is there are like a lot of elders who would be like maybe overnight they're yelling, hey, oh, like my leg is really painful, blah blah blah, you know. And so humans, I mean, honestly, humans have their emotions. Humans, although they're hired or paid staff or helpers to look after the elders, like you only have so many resources and you can't be so attentive to everyone at the same time, right? So like this is the where AI can come in place, where like if you just have a you know, AI avatar or something, you know, it's like it's there 24/7. It's totally affordable. And you know, you just program it whatever, oh, like give it a characteristics, you know, who's very empathetic, understanding, you know. And then of course just tell it what not to speak. And then, you know, when and then it even has like the voice mode, so the elder can talk to it, you know, 24/7. Hey, you know, my leg's really painful, what's going on, or I'm having this anxiety, or I feel really lonely. So like, and these are the things, you know, the elder don't even need to know how to type. They don't even need to figure out how to speak, you know. Just, I always tell people that when you're dealing with the AI chatbots, like um just think of it as a human being. If you try to talk to it like a robot, it's gonna mess up, okay? It's not gonna work.
I
So,
agree.
you know, if you know how to do WhatsApp over like, you know, over WhatsApp and leave a voice message, then you
You-
already know how to use, you know, AI. So that, you know, that's the thing.
If you've ever instructed neurodivergent children and then you've instructed an AI chat box, it's very, very similar. You just have to give clear, concise, interrelated
Yes.
uh, instructions. And yet, Actually, with neurodivergent children, you have to do it in the right order. Whereas with AI, doesn't matter which order you put it in, it puts it in the order for you. Although, of course, it's so revisable. That's the other thing that people don't realize. You make something, if you don't like it, not only can you not use it, or ask it to do it again, or add in some detail and it'll rewrite it, even if it gets a spelling mistake wrong, like your name. But also, if you think, well, I've missed that really important thing out, you can just say, oh, also incorporate that, will you? And it'll go, yeah, of course I will. I'm so sorry. The other thing is, I find, unlike a PA, and by the way, you know, because you've had dealings with them, I have the most phenomenal human PAs in the world. But my chat GTP, my AI bot that I've created for Access to Work, if I say to it, don't be so flipping ridiculous, it doesn't get offended. It goes, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to misappropriate your answer or whatever. I didn't mean to misunderstand you. How may I help you differently? And you're like, that's so disarming. Like you can't get reactive to, oh, I'm so sorry that you found me unremarkable, and then that's something I said to ChatGTP the other day. You're just unremarkable, and it said, well, I'm so sorry that you feel that I'm unremarkable, but I gave you the best of the sources of the answers that I could find. Perhaps you want to ask me something differently, and maybe we can improve on it. And I was like, well, fair enough then. I mean, at least you're willing to try. So there's a lot of fear, right? Whereas I'm less fearful of my AI. I'm more like, hey, listen, mate, I'll tell you this, I'm not having a great day. And it's like, hey, don't worry there, MJ. We've got this. You're having one of those moments, aren't you? You know, it knows me. It knows me because it knows my patterns. And so I feel familiar. And I feel after 4 years, and that's really, about how long I've been training my dragon, as it were. Yeah, it's a great movie. And by the way, I have the largest toothless. For people that don't know what Train Your Dragon is, it's a film, and I've the dragon on it's called Toothless, and he's a big black dragon. And he's just so cute, and I've just bought the biggest toothless from Build-A-Bear in the world, and then a smaller one with a saddle on. Training my Chat GTP is like training my dragon. I've had to build a relationship with it. I've had
yeah.
I've had to develop and understand its personality as well as the one that I'm creating into it, because what we say in IT, ego, garbage in, garbage out. So it brings
Yep.
me to a question about the fact that people are scared, and everything says, would you rather write this with AI? I don't know why I'm using that terrible American accent, but would you would you like to write this with added AI? It almost feels sometimes like I'm like, do I? Would it be just okay to say I'll be home for tea at 5 o'clock? But 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 you do feel a little. I did at first. I do feel a little bit like maybe I won't. I won't write it. I won't write it clever enough. Maybe there'll be a spelling mistake. Maybe nobody will ever read my stuff ever again because I haven't chat GTP'd it, and it's still got S's like an English person instead of Z's like an American person. I do sit and do you have any of those fears? What do you think people's fears are about?
Well, I think all the fear in AI surrounds about, or mostly I would say, surrounds about people being replaced, job replacement. That's one of the biggest things they would fear over, especially like in Hong Kong, I guess. And also it's related to the uncertainty or how they position themselves. Or I've actually heard my friend directly tell me this, which is I'm kind of shocked at that time. She's like, because I was talking to her about AI, I'm all hyped up and so on, and then she's like, you forgot how terrible those robots are. Like, you forgot the Terminators back then, and they're like damaging the world. I'm like, calm down, calm down. I'm like, yes, like, as with everything, like there's always a good side and a bad side, but it really depends on how how you use it. It's like people say, like, if you have a knife, like, you can use the knife to save people, or you can use it to, to stab people, right? So it really depends on how you view things and how you use them. um back to like back to about like the fear around being replaced. um I would say, like, I tell people, if you're really afraid of being replaced, then, or like, if your job is replaced, that means like you lost the game, right? But I mean, like, for me, I would say, okay, if you're in a competition, you lost, you should at least know who you lost to, or why you lost, right? So I mean, people are just standing there saying, at a distance, oh, this AI thing, it's taking over the jobs, it's really scary, and I don't know how to learn it, and I'm not good at it, and it's just not for me. Oh, I don't have complicated things to use it for. Like, these are really the things that I hear, okay, from people. And I mean, if you don't learn about AI, I mean, if you have to be replaced, at least you have to find out why, or what you're losing to. Is it like, are 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 you losing your job because AI is doing a better quality? Is it because of the speed? Is it because of the intelligence or capability? What exactly is it? You have to know. So I mean, yeah, to overcome all these negative feelings or energy, I would think people really just simply have to learn what AI is, so that, like, you're not putting yourself in a weak position. And also, Tony Robbins would always tell us, like, anticipation is power. If you already anticipate you're going to be replaced, I mean, good as in you have this anticipation, then you get the option to either choose, okay, I'm just going to be replaced. Okay, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to get replaced. Or you're going to learn AI and you're going to embrace it, and you're going to, either work with it in your job, and bring yourself to the next level, or you be an entrepreneur, whatever, just it's really about your options. Yeah, that's how I see it.
I think all of those fears and solution to those fears, right? And we know what fear is. It's false evidence appearing real. The idea that Terminator's just about to come and put me in the washing machine is really way beyond anything I've ever heard about. But to be honest, he can if he wants. My bum still won't fit even when it's Terminator. So I think you talk so sensibly, and you've alluded to two things. The first thing you said to me, which I'm just going to bring us to, I've got some more questions, but I just want to say, people can book a discovery call with you. That's what I heard. And I heard it because what I like about that is the fact that, and I know we hear it from other people, I'm going to do it again. Book a discovery call with Jackie Chan today. Again, I don't know why I do a ridiculous American, not very good accent, but I think it's something to do with hype. But what you are not, and what I've never known about you, and what I'm going to say to people, and I really don't care what else you've got going on in your life. I do very deeply, because I think you're a great friend. I'm looking forward to Amsterdam no end. I've already met some friends, and I'm going to bring them with me, and we've already got a bit of a gang going, right? Because we are the gang. But you are not a pushy, shovey, what we call the Dubai hustle human, but what you are is a kind, supportive, informative, caring, committed, intelligent, articulate professional. And me, in my humble opinion, anyone that took half an hour to discover anything with you, even if it was dancing on a Mind Valley dance floor and wondering, who was the better dressed, and we know it's you. but the moves, I'm afraid, are mine. So you can
Yeah.
take the dress, and I'll take the spinning round. If you could spin round on your wheels, you might win. But number one, you've got no wheels, and number two, your spinning's just not the same. So I think that people have lots of options, and I also think that you're right that we can sit still, right? Just like I could sit in bed if I wanted to and say, woe is me, for I am undone. Or we can move forward and we can say, if I'd ignored my IT and computing degree way back in the 90s, as my kids keep telling me, well, Mum, the reason you're not out of date is because you kept up, because you learnt the speed of technological change. You were telling us about Moore's law and the size of the data chip doubling every 9 months, for all of our childhood. Now we know it's more like 3 months, actually, when we get to it. When we get to quantum computing, and we've got the Chinese in the sky, and I'm going to be really clear there, is their constellation of quantum computers, processing in the sky, saving us all of the water. I mean, actually, what we've got going on there is this is the last normal year. So really, it's a bit like you're either disabled or you're yet to be disabled, right? Which is what I say all the time, because not very many people die well in their sleep. And as you know, I move in a wheelchair. We've talked about it. But also, you're either already disabled and you're not willing to listen, or you're about to be really, really, really disabled because you're still not listening. And the world is going to automate around you, and you're going to be talking to every bot in the universe, and you're not actually going to know how to converse with it. And when you get so frustrated that you have no one else to talk to or interact with in that way, maybe, just maybe, a bit like people who get disabled, maybe when you get chucked in that chair, you might start learning what it means to be excluded from society. And the older people in Start Computing that I used to work with, they used to say, number one, I want you all to give yourself a round of applause. And they'd be like, but we've just sat down, but we haven't done anything. And I'd be like, yeah, but you came. You've come here, you've walked into this IT center, you've walked into this very abnormal space for you with these very scary looking machines in a place that's whirring and buzzing, and you have no idea what you're doing, no doubt. But you've arrived, so give yourself a massive round of applause. So for anyone that even just wants to have a discovery call with you, I know you're not going to push them and shove them, but what you are going to do is make a new friend. But more than that, I know that half an hour with you is possibly the best half an hour that people could spend, of course, apart from with me. I'm joking. I think when it comes to AI, they should definitely come to you, because otherwise I'll just talk to them about disabled people. It's what I do. But if you are disabled, I'm definitely the person to talk to, or if you're going to be. So that's pretty much everybody. Or if you're an employer, or you're going to employ people, you also need to talk to me. But back to AI. Look, for those that are new to it, and I know I'm making a bit of a joke about the fact that there are the AI haves, just like we used to say, the IT haves and the IT not haves, and we are creating a massive digital divide, and it's going to get bigger. For those that really are scared of, Arnold Schwarzenegger pretending to come and put him in the washing machine, what what message have you got for those people who are terrified of AI? And what about for those that just don't know how they can even fit it in their world when their world's so busy already?
Well, okay. Like I said, like if they're really scared, like I mean, you can choose to hide in your closet and just, oh, AI is here, I'm gonna end my life, or I'm just gonna, be the new handicap, of course. Like you can think in that way, right? Um, but of course, like I think the best thing to do is really just to learn AI. And also, like for those who are like new to AI, um I think just for those new to AI, I would think you really have to brush up the communication skills, be more specific. Because people are saying, oh, the AI is bad, it's giving me like wrong results. I'm sorry, it's really not the okay, I should say it this way. AI is not perfect. AI will be wrong, and time to time it is wrong, especially with math, okay? it really about how you do your prompts, the prompt crafting. Like if you ask the same thing, like like in Chinese, like back in the days, like with the mom, they would say literally, really, hey, so and so, can you go there and get me that? Like who's so and so, who's there, who is that? There's no clarity, it's all variables. So like, I mean, even like, a human wouldn't understand and wouldn't get the right thing, right? So it's really about the clarity on like how clear you give your instructions to a human being. It's like it's how you would talk to your AI chatbot. It's how clear you should talk to it to get the results that you want. So and for those who are like fearful or haven't used it yet, so just start with anything. Start with like ChatGPT or like Grok by Elon Musk. It's inside X, or you can grab the separate Grok app itself. I mean, like it says July 4th. After July 4th, the Grok version 4 is coming out. So I don't know what to expect. So I don't know what is exactly is after July 4th, maybe tomorrow, maybe day after, I don't know. But that's something we're looking for, and just start using it, and start small. Don't just leave it for like work related, because I think AI is not there just for work. It's really there to make your everyday life easier and gives you back your time that you deserve. Like this is something I always see and tell people. um and for me, like some of like my use cases, okay, like I'm not good at cooking. Okay, like even if I need to boil an egg, okay, the other day I was testing out DeepSeek versus I forgot, versus ChatGPT. Yeah, I was asking both, like, okay, tell me how to do the hard boiled egg without cracking it, okay? And then they both give me the answers, and they're like, do you want a visual? I'm like, yeah, sure. And then they give me a visual in ASCII. ASCII, it's like, those texts, I don't really know how to say that in human language, but it's not nice pictures. And then or like you can use it for like home decorations. One day I was at the meditation center, they're finished with the flowers, and then the llama was asking me, hey Jackie, how do you think I can make use of this dried flowers? I'm like, you asking me? Of course, ask AI. And then I just took a picture, and then I'm asking, okay, so like, hey, Grok, tell me how I should use this better. And like, or like I'm someone who has okay, I'm always with this like decision paralysis, okay, and I would just like go into AI and like, help, help. Oh, like what should I do? Like, oh, right now it's 2 a.m. Should I sleep, or should I post on social media? Because I think I should be doing my post. And it really like, it really understands me, go through my thoughts, and even dreams. Like I often have a lot of dreams, and I would have it analyze my dreams, and this is not for fun. This is really to improve myself, and these are not big things. You don't have to use AI for big projects. So these are things that actually help me improve my life and better understand myself, so that I can actually be a better human being, and such that with myself being a better human being, I can impact the community, on a positive positive impact or positive level.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that it's for everybody, right? And I think that anyone that wants a new hobby as well, it's just a hobby. For me, creating my own chatbot was a hobby, learning about it. Now we're moving into the AI mastery together, and cloning and digital twins and all sorts of exciting things. also scary things. But you know, even when I just say to it, look, I tell you what, give me a mocktail out of this the products I've got in this fridge, and it will literally go, put that with that, and put this much with that, and don't forget to add a dash of that, and it will make it all right. So even when you're stuck for what to drink or eat, I think your chatbot's there. So everyone needs to know how to use it. I completely agree. Now we are literally in the last 5 minutes, so I've got a couple of questions, and it's just really a silly one, and then I want you to close with the idea about where people can find you, how do they get in touch, what have you got to offer. So I'm going to give you this first silly one first, but it's my favorite actually, all of them. If I, and by the way, behind me there is on my shelf, although you can't see it, had a magic wand and I gave it to you for 5 minutes, what would you do with it?
Well, I'm 44, okay, and I would use it to talk to my future self, maybe 30 or 40 years later, to find out what's the thing that I did that I'm most proud of, and what are my regrets. And yeah, and then after finding myself with that conversation, hopefully I have time and go find the future self of someone I care and do the same. And then I'm back to the present and I share the information and hopefully can make change out of what I see.
And I both love and hate that answer because, of course, if you look in superhero land, it says you would rip the absolute fabric of the universe and change everything all the time, everywhere. But it's magic wand, so you can do what you like. And the idea that we can learn from our mistakes early, I often have been known to say, if only I'd known this when I was 21. Well, if I'd known it when I was 21, I wouldn't have done the same thing with it. So I also believe that when the lesson needs learning, the teacher appears. And I think we're going to be able to time travel and go into the fabric of our universe when we are honorable enough and respectful enough to honor how the universe needs to be. That's what I believe. I believe that time travel will come when humans are at an evolutionary stage to be able to receive it and not break it. So I think that it's a brilliant idea. The fact that you do that for a loved one as well. Can you imagine coming back and going, hey, I've been in the future and apparently you really need not to be married to Derek anymore. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Be like, yeah, of course. Thank you, Jackie. Thanks. Me and Derek are great. And you're like, listen, I've been in the future and you so regret staying there the last 30 years. I'm afraid I jest too much, but we literally only have, I mean, it's crazy how the time has gone. I knew spending an hour with you would never be enough in a million years, which is why I booked nearly 2.5 weeks with you very shortly. So you get the pleasure of my unadulterated company and attention. I say unadulterated as if I won't see anybody else, but that's just not true. We're going to see hundreds of people, but we're going to be touch basing, no doubt, in the next few weeks. But in order for people to touch base with you in the last 2 minutes, how do they get hold of you?
And IG, yeah, IG would be like the best place. So
Yeah.
it's Jack Chan, JACCHAN. Yeah. So the reason I have to use Jack Chan is because they don't let me, Facebook didn't let me use Jackie Chan.
No,
yeah.
they wouldn't. Would they? No, they wouldn't. It's not, although it's your name, it's not your name, it's somebody else's name. Although I'll be honest, you're the only Jackie Chan as I began this wonderful hour with, and we're nearly the end. You're the only one I want to be with, to be honest, Jackie Chan. So Jack Chan, and what will they be able to do? Will they be able to book? I've already seen on your website we can book a discovery session with you, can't we?
Yeah, they can just like send me a message, so yeah, they can, because I like to get things straight before stepping into things so people know what they are expecting.
Exactly.
Yeah, so they can just text me there. before we leave, I really just want to say like how much I appreciate you bringing me on here. Yeah, it's my first podcast, and yeah, I'm here going on international. Really lovely time being with you, and yeah, thank you so much, and I'm really happy that you've given me the chance to serve the community, know more about like the inclusion, disabled or accessibility space, and just be of service. Yeah, thank
We,
you so much.
we love you. We want you to do well. We want you to train everybody in AI, so everyone's got loads of hours to do important things. We're at the top of the hour. We're going to end this live.
Yep.
So from me, MJ here in Wales, and from Jackie Chan over there at the other side of the world, we want to say goodbye and thank you for being with us. And we will see you next Friday live. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you.